Just had a really inspiring conversation with Meredith Shumway, the founder of the Formula Workout System, bringing a lot of knowledge, amazing story. My all be happy takeaway is really what she said. Nobody's going to do it for you. You want it, go get it. So hustle, I mean, that's the key.
Hustle.
That's the key. Where do you get that from? You're hustling.
I mean, I think I was born with it, to
Yeah.
tell you the truth. I mean, I've always been like, go, 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 because no one's going to do it for you.
Right.
Like, no one's going to help you through life. No one's going to do anything for you. You have to do it yourself.
But
And
that's
like,
not common to have as a young kid. Like, I'm trying to teach that to my kids. So that's just a DNA thing, you think?
maybe like my dad was a hustler. My
Yeah.
mom, as in like, she pushed my brother and I think I know I am who I am because of her.
Yeah.
Like, there's no doubt about it. She she pushed me hard, and I think that at the time I was like, like I don't want to like we were just talking about before,
Yeah.
like I don't want to do this anymore, but if she didn't push me, I wouldn't be who I am. I wouldn't
Right.
be here. I wouldn't be the mother I am. I wouldn't be the business owner that I am.
Yeah.
But I think it comes from like it has to come from the parents.
Yeah.
I
Absolutely.
saw them hustling. I saw my dad hustling. Because we didn't come from money. My parents didn't come from money. They, started their businesses out in the Hamptons. And I saw my dad like wake up, work, hustle, go to sleep, wake up, work. Like there was no.
He's in construction, right?
Mhm.
So that's a grind.
It's a grind.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And they, but they weren't from there originally. Where'd they move from?
So my dad is from Oneonta. My
Okay.
mom's from Glen Cove. They
Okay.
met when my mom was in college
Yeah.
at Delhi.
Oh, nice.
And then my mom got a job out in the Hamptons. She was involved in horticulture and
Okay.
like landscape design. She's like, bye, I'm moving to the Hamptons.
Okay.
And a couple weeks later, he's like, I can't live without you.
Oh, that's
And
amazing.
moved out there, and that was it.
Were they in a real relationship at that point?
Yeah.
Or they were like had just met?
No, they
Like
were
she
in a
says, I'm
relationship,
gone. He's
but
like,
she's like, I'm
I'm
yeah,
gone.
yeah. But like same, like that's very
Yes.
like most I hate to say it, but like most women, it'll be like, I'm gonna stay here for you because I love you. We just met
Yeah.
out of college, and what am I gonna do? She was like, I'm doing this on my
Right. So I was about to say, she clearly
Yep.
just charted her own course
Yep.
and follow me or don't.
Yep.
But
And then yeah.
that's amazing. And so, but then you said she also ends up with a dance studio.
Right.
Yeah.
But that was not till later in life.
Oh, okay.
So with my dad in construction, she raised my brother and I. She didn't work while we were growing up. And it wasn't until I started getting seriously into dance that she not decided, but she took it upon herself to be like, okay, I'm gonna get a teaching job, a dance teaching job.
Yeah.
And she started teaching at the dance studio that I was at.
But she had any background in that?
Yes.
Oh, she did.
She
Okay.
did. She grew up dancing.
Oh, I see. Okay.
But paused for,
Yeah.
life and childhood or having children.
Yeah.
And so she picked it back up when I was seriously getting into it. And also like to help pay for the bills.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
she's teaching at the studio, it would help kind
Got
of
it.
offset the
That's
cost
amazing.
of dance.
That's
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah.
And your brother is the one who actually started with the dance, right? That sort of got you into it, right?
So my brother's
Yeah.
4 years older than
Yeah.
me. And my mom wanted to find a way to like channel his energy because he had this like wild sort of ADHD energy. So she wanted to channel his energy. And so she put him into dance classes. And I'm like this little toddler thinking like, I want to go dance. I want to dance, mommy. But I couldn't dance till I was 3.
Yeah.
So that was like the starting age.
Is that just like a physical thing or the class? Like you
I
can't really do
mean,
anything
you
until
can't
you're
really
3.
do anything.
Yeah.
It's like even at 3, you're like,
Right.
what are you really doing? You're trying to learn instruction and you're trying to follow the teacher, but most of the time it's just kind of like free dance.
Yeah. Not to get too far into it, but just because you mentioned it, in the ballet world, how young do they start for that? Around the same age, right?
So there's a lot of yes.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of like back and forth with this. So my training, like when I eventually went on and my teacher, her name is Maggie Black,
Yeah.
her whole philosophy is you do not really start professionally training until your body is until your muscles and your bones are grown to to your full, however, when you reach that certain full grown person.
Mhm.
So you can start dancing, you can start learning, you can start growing at 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. But until you reach that peak physical ability, that's really when the training starts.
Makes
So
sense, makes
you can start
sense.
dancing at any age. But I think like the real training comes a little bit
When your
later.
body sort of settles
When you're,
almost, yeah,
yeah,
okay.
because it's also not necessarily the best thing
Yeah, of
for
course.
you to
It's like
put
l
your
lifting weights as a little kid, you're not supposed to,
exactly.
yeah,
You don't want to put your body through too much trauma too early.
right.
Um,
So going back,
yeah,
so I'm sorry to interrupt, but so
yeah,
your
no,
brother, so you look up to him, you see him dancing. You know the chorus line? Wasn't that
yeah.
there was that story in the chorus line, but it's the reverse.
Yes,
The
yes.
brother sees
Yeah. Yes, yes. So, as soon as I turned 3, my mom put me in dance, and that was, like, game over for
that
me.
was it.
3 years old, though, but then going back, I think, like, at 3 years old, at 4 years old, this is what I wanna do with my life. This is what I'm doing, and I knew right then at that point, like, this is what I'm doing for the rest of my life, and there was no turning back, no changing. I didn't wanna do anything else. That was it.
What was it? I mean, what attracted you about it?
I don't know, I think it was that striving to be better, striving to be almost like this form of perfection of like, I wanna do that, I wanna be that, I wanna be that ballerina, I wanna get my leg higher, I wanna work harder, and,
Right.
like, I always had this sort of innate feeling inside me to, like, work harder and be better.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
And these were actual ballet class or just sort of general dance?
ballet.
They were
Pure
ballet.
ballet, that was it. I took, like, tap here and there and jazz and modern and, like, tried to fill up my schedule with other things, but at the end of the day, it was, like, ballet.
That was
That
it.
was it.
I've been to a few ballets. I love going to the opera, and I think one year we couldn't find it, so we went to the ballet. It's amazing. I mean, it really is. It's not something you think about that most people don't think about because they're not really exposed to it. But when you're watching it, it's really breathtaking. I mean, the way these people are moving as if they're on air, it's really phenomenal. It's a beautiful, beautiful art form. Um, Yet it's also a crazy world in it, right?
Wild world.
Wild. So, which I want to get to, but just going through the chronology. So, okay, you grow up,
So
you're
growing
always
up, yep,
dancing.
dancing, dancing, dancing.
Competitions,
No,
classes, how does
I
that
was
work?
not a competition dancer.
Okay.
I didn't wanna be a competition
Yeah.
dancer. My focus was I wanna be a professional ballerina. I don't wanna do the whole competition thing because that took away from my ballet training.
Right.
So uh, I'd say I was in 8th grade, so it was the summer of 8th grade going into 9th grade. I got accepted to the school in Washington, DC. It's called the Kirov Academy of Ballet. Russian-based school,
Right.
very, very strict, like, they don't
Got it.
speak any English. It was
Really?
like my parents sent me there. I swear they put laxatives in the food. It was like
Wow. Who'd you live with when
it
you were
was
there?
so you lived in
Oh,
dormitories,
wow. How old are you again?
8th grade going into
Right.
9th grade.
Okay.
Yeah, so what are you, 13,
Yeah.
14
Yeah.
at that time?
Okay.
So I went there, I got in, worked my ass off, but I was not good enough. I, like, wasn't cutting it, and they would go around accepting kids for their year-round
Right.
program, and I didn't get an acceptance, and I even, like, made an appointment with the director, and I was what can I do? How can I come
Yeah.
here? What, like, and he was this 8th grader, like, making an appointment with the
Right.
director of the ballet school, right, like, on my own. Nobody told me to do that. I'm like, "I'm gonna do this. I'm getting in. I'm going here year-round." And she was just like, "Listen, your technique is not up to par. It's not where it should be. And, come back, get better training, and come
Right.
back later." So basically, like almost like an American Idol audition, like, you're not good
Yeah.
enough, so
Yeah.
come back next year.
Wow. But I mean, the bar must be so high. If you were in a class in a non-Russian school, or you might have
Maybe.
been there,
Right.
right? Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
So so after the summer, I came back to New York. I came back here and I said to my mom, I was like, "Mom, like how am I gonna do this? How am I gonna get better? I need better training." And like the training out east was like fine. It
Right.
was not really the best. It was fine. So she was like, "Listen, I know this woman. She's in Stony Brook. She's teaching these classes. I might be able to see if like I have her number. It's like her number's not posted. And like nobody, you can't con. This is like an underground. Like you can't find
Right.
this woman. You can't get into her class." But my
It's the
mom
lesson you want.
somehow got her number from someone, called her and she's like, "Okay, bring her to Stony Brook. I'll check her out and see what we can do." So she brings me and I have like my little audition class. And at this time, I'm a freshman in high school,
Yeah.
which is very, very late to start professionally training now. So like now I'm a freshman in high school, whereas I probably should have been like sixth, seventh grade should have been where I was like really intensely training at that point, right?
But how'd you get into that other school if you weren't?
Sheer talent, luck. I had
Oh,
raw
I see.
talent.
Okay, got
So
it.
my back was really flexible. My feet were like
Understood.
perfect ballet
So you
feet.
weren't
And
doing official sort of training yet. Okay, interesting.
I was like, I knew I wanted to do this
Yeah,
and I had the drive, I had the raw talent,
got
but
it.
I had terrible technique. So ninth grade, she looks at me, she's like, listen, you're good, but I need to break you down and start from scratch. We need to pretend you've never taken a ballet class in your life. We're taking you off your point shoes. We're gonna go back to like square one,
Right.
relearning your body.
Were you okay with it?
I had a really hard time with it because I'm like in my personality is like I need to go. I need to do this. I need to why am I off my point shoes? I can't. I need to go. So I had a really it was like a very major like mental fuck for me to just
Yeah.
be like, okay, go back to square one.
Uh,
Now as a ninth grader.
yeah, yeah.
Um but so I'm taking her classes. So this woman, her name's Maggie Black. She passed away, I think, in 2015. Absolute legend.
Mm.
Like ballet world, if you mention to anybody who's anybody the name Maggie Black, they'll be like,
And this is the woman that nobody knows how to get in touch
nobody knows how
with.
to get.
Nobody got it.
So
Amazing.
so
Okay.
you say, okay, you trained with Maggie
Yeah.
Black. People's jaws go,
Right.
what? How? What? When? Where? Why? So at this point, she's in her 70s.
Yeah.
She's totally retired. She all of her city dancers would like contact her, "We need classes. We need you to train
Yeah.
us." So
Wow.
she, like, decided, "Okay, I'll host classes at Stony Brook University," like, in this little back room with no windows. It was, like, this hidden little thing. So she took me, broke me down, retrained me. That summer, so now ninth grade going into 10th grade, I got a scholarship to the American Ballet Theater.
Wow.
So
Because of the training she had did and you went and auditioned for it, or?
I
Yeah.
auditioned for a summer intensive, and she had in those, let's say, a couple of months from then to the audition season, she totally retrained me, transformed me. Now, her philosophy, and this has to do with my life now.
Yeah.
So everything that I do now with my business, 1000% goes back to Maggie Blank.
Yeah, interesting.
So her whole philosophy was taking dancers who had incorrect training and retraining them, but to dance without injury. So with a lot of it was like injury prevention. So we are taught to hike our leg up no matter how, what, when, where, why. Maggie's whole thing was if your leg is up here and it's in the incorrect position, you're going to get injured. Your form is horrible. Nothing's going to work. So her whole philosophy was retraining dancers to work from proper placement, proper form. And if your leg is here, but it's turned out and perfectly lifted in correct form, that's better than being up here and in like with your butt out, blah, blah, blah.
Does that mean you're not supposed to do that move, or there's a
There's a
proper way?
proper way
Yeah,
to do
okay.
it.
Got it.
So,
Which is not really taught because why? Like, why wouldn't you have learned that at another place?
to get your leg higher than the
Yeah.
person next to you,
They don't really care, just go higher or whatever.
go higher,
Yeah,
be
yeah.
better, be faster.
Right, okay.
So Balanchine dubbed her Black Magic.
Got it.
Um,
That's cool.
so because she took these dancers who were incredible
Yeah.
dancers, but there was something kind of missing, and she just transformed their careers and created these like insane dancers.
And that's an understanding of I mean, I guess you use this now in your work, but what the physiology, what did she know or what did she understand that she
It's
was able
how
to?
to it's the placement of your shoulders on top of your hips, on top of your feet. So there's this whole body placement in ballet. So a lot of times you'll see dancers stick their butt out or over tuck their tailbone. And her whole thing was leading from a natural spine and working from
Interesting.
your core.
Yeah.
Um, so it was that like jump started for me, my dance career,
Yeah.
which was kind of late in life as far as my mind was going. It's like, okay, here I am now, ninth grade going into 10th grade, and I got this scholarship to American
Right.
Ballet Theatre Summer Intensive, which was like,
And you went.
Went.
What was that
Loved
like? Was that a dream come true?
Dream come true.
Everything you thought it would be. If they say, like, "Don't meet your
Like, it's
heroes,"
gonna make me
but this oh, that's great.
So it was, and even to the point where, like, the final so there's a performance,
Yeah.
and in one of these dances, and I'll never forget this. It's the song that the teacher choreographed the dance to was a Philip Glass song.
Okay.
And it was just like this magical number. And at the end of the dance and the beginning of the dance, it was like the whole group that was like in a circle, and then there was the guys in the outside, and I was in the middle of the circle. And like as they were coming down, I was coming up, and like that's how the dance ended and started. And it was
That's
like
like
this
movie.
moment. It was, I felt like I was in a
That's
movie, and
amazing.
it was like this moment of I'm living my dream.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
I feel like it could go the other way where you're like, "This is nothing like I thought it would be," but
Right.
that's
No.
and the people you met were nice as well, and
I mean, it's obviously there is always that competitive
right, right.
aspect, but I think when you are in a like a summer intensive setting, there's a lot of like definitely like backstabbing girl
Right, right.
behavior, but at the same time, you're all in the same situation at the same time, so you're almost forced to have more camaraderie um in a summer intensive setting. Just because you're living together,
Yeah,
you're working together, there's no real competition so much as it would be if you're at an audition. So if you're at an
got it,
audition, it's like
got it.
all in.
Yeah.
But yeah,
That's amazing. And, what was the plan? So now that you did that, when you were there, you're like, "Okay, now I'm gonna go," and,
now I'm gonna
like,
go
I don't know
again.
where you go
Yeah,
next.
right.
What happens after that if you were to follow that trajectory?
So I came back to New York, same
Yeah.
thing. Come back. I'm working with Maggie. I worked with her 3 days a week. And this was crazy. So I would go to high school. I had to get permission from New York State
Yeah.
to leave high school early every single day, or my 3 days a week, because I would have to drive to Stony Brook, and my classes would start at, let's say, 3 o'clock. My dance classes would start, but I had to leave Southampton to
Yeah.
get to Stony Brook,
Right.
and it's like an hour drive. So I had to get permission from New York State because my last class of the day had to be like study hall and gym, but
Okay.
you can't skip gym, right? So you need
So this
four
is like
years. So
was
you
the
need gym,
gym. Yeah.
right? So I had to get permission from the state that like I'm doing something physically
Right.
active,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I can get a sign off that like I can skip gym because it was one of the last periods of the day.
Right.
So I would dance with her. I would dance with her for 3 hours, and then I would leave school and I would go to Suffolk Community College. This is while I'm in high school, and
Yeah.
take Suffolk Community College classes to graduate high school early to pursue my
Wow.
dance career.
Wow.
So I was like, I'm doing this. I'm going to graduate
That's
high school early.
incredible.
I'm going to be professional. And like, this is all on my own. And my mom, going back to my mom,
Right.
she would drive me. She would drive me to Stony Brook. She would wait in the car, my 3 hour dance classes. She would drive me to Suffolk. She'd wait in the car. We'd be home by like 10, 11
Oh my
p.m. and like
goodness.
get up and start it all over again.
Wow, that is so impressive.
Yes.
That is
She was
so
like
impressive.
my biggest cheerleader.
Did you ever hit a wall doing that?
Always,
Yeah.
always. I'm tired. I would fall asleep in the
Right.
car. I don't want to do this. I can't. I'm tired today. Um,
And so what pulled you through that?
my mom,
Yeah.
you're doing it.
You're doing
This
it.
is what you want to do. There's
Yeah.
no turning away from what you want to do. Do it, and do it with your whole heart.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that was like, of course, I'm a teenager. I just want to like go out. I want to party. I want to
Right.
hang out with my friends. I want to, go out on Saturdays. But
But I think she
instead,
also saw that you had that. I mean, I think about my own kids where they're exploring things they're interested in, right? So you try it, and then it's possible they're just not into it. And so you have
right,
that balance. Do I
right,
push or not?
right.
She clearly saw you were into it. And the days where you're telling yourself, I'm not anymore, is just a momentary blip. Really, she knows. So I think it's gives her the impetus and the authority to keep pushing and saying,
But that's
keep
like
going.
hard as
It's
a
very
parent. And
hard.
like
It's
now,
impossible.
now as a parent, I like when my son says, I don't want to go to hockey
Yeah.
tonight. And I'm like, okay, it's kind of cold out. I don't really want to
Right.
go. So like in my head, you also have to think of like, okay, your kid doesn't want to right this second. And like maybe you don't like, do you think she wanted to drive
Right.
all this time and spend all this time sitting in her car for hours and hours? I mean, I think about it now. I'd be like, yeah, I don't really want to do that.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
like, what's the alternative?
Absolutely,
Do you
absolutely.
want your kid to excel, or do you want your kid to like just kind of fall off and have no direction?
Yeah, yeah, and it matters, like you said, the impulse matters, especially if they commit to something. If
Yeah.
they said I'm gonna do it fine, we could talk about it when this period is over, but you're
Correct.
definitely not
And, like,
keeping your
I paid
word at
for
the
it, you're
moment.
going.
Yeah,
Yes,
it's not,
yes,
but all that is part of life. Like if
yes.
you gave your word, absolutely. So that's incredible. So you finish this, you
Mm.
come back. What's the next
Training,
training?
training.
Yeah,
So next
yeah.
summer, same thing. Get into American
Okay, you
I
go
I
check.
was like, I wanna go to American Ballet Theater
Yeah.
again. I love it there. Now.
Yeah, sorry to interrupt.
Yep.
There's a couple of major, so in the city at least, right?
Mhm.
There's the American Ballet Company
Theater.
theater,
Yes.
but there's a couple of different troupes, like main ballet companies.
Within American Ballet Theater, no. So there's
Okay.
one. So there's American Ballet Theater. Well, there's a different companies all over. So there's like School of American Ballet, which is a
Okay.
totally different school.
Got it.
American Ballet Theater, totally different school. There's what are the other ones? I mean there's Alvin Ailey. There's all different schools and companies.
Got it.
Within the American Ballet Theater, they have one.
Yeah.
It's New York City, and then they have in their summer intensives, they have like satellite locations so they can just like pump out kids and
Okay.
dancers.
So American Ballet has its own theater. Is that the one out of Lincoln Center or no? That's
No,
Lincoln
that's
Center is just
New
a
York
venue.
City
That's New
Ballet.
York City
Yeah.
Ballet. That's what I was trying to get
Yep.
to.
So New York
Okay.
City Ballet School is School of American Ballet.
Got it.
American Ballet Theater is just American Ballet
Got it.
Theater.
Okay.
Yep. Yep. Yeah. So went there again the following summer, but so I started to develop an injury.
Yeah.
Um, Runners get it. It's called compartment syndrome. So your legs, with it like repetitive impact, your muscles start to swell to the point where it causes, I guess, like more like sort of like an internal bleeding almost thing, like
Hello?
bruising. So my legs were like rock hard. Um, and it started to really affect me because I couldn't. A lot of ballet is a lot of jumping.
Yeah.
So every time I jump, it's think like shin splints, but on a whole other level. So every time I would jump, it would be like this shooting pain through my legs. But I'm pushing through. I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm doing this. There's no turning back. This is
Right.
my life.
And
And
you were probably
that's
prepared to like live with that pain.
as a dancer,
Yeah.
you like mentally prepare yourself like, okay, I'm gonna get injured at some point. How am I going to push through it, or am I gonna heal myself? Because if
Yeah.
you heal yourself, you can't take off that time. You can't lose that time in a
Oh, I see.
dancer.
Right.
Like
Right.
you can't. So, so I'm pushing through this injury. I get through camp. Um, and then that was second ABT summer. Now I'm going back a third. So third summer, I go back. I could barely make it through the summer intensive. It
Wow.
was like the injury just kept resurfacing and I was not healing. I wasn't resting. I was pushing and pushing and pushing. So at this point now, I'm what would that be? Junior year, right? Junior, senior year, when you're deciding your fate for
Yeah.
college.
Right.
So am I pushing myself to audition for ballet companies or am I going to college? That was my choice
Yeah.
of what am I going to do. So now I graduated high school early. I'm sitting on this, like, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? So I had this like come to Jesus moment of like, I think I need to make the decision to go to college. I think I need to like put this on the back burner and just go to college and get an education. And maybe within my first year of college, I can come back to training to be
Right.
a professional.
Right. Which
Um,
must happen. I mean, again, it's you probably get a sense of I need a plan. I mean, I imagine a lot of people who make sports or that kind of thing their life, not that it's a sport, but you know what I mean? Um, I guess as soon as they feel the one thing that they need go weak, it becomes an issue, right? It sort of rocks you a little bit. Yeah.
rocks.
Yeah.
Because like, think about it. I've been doing this since I was 3 years
Yeah. I
old.
mean,
This is my life.
yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
now I have to make this decision of, okay, like, what the fuck am I gonna do?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
truly, what am I gonna do?
Yeah. And it's not just what am I gonna do? It's like it's so much a part of you to turn away from that
It's
must
my
be
heart
so
and
tough.
soul.
Yeah. Yeah.
So in this process, I decide to go to college, but I don't know what I'm gonna do.
Mm.
So I audition to go to school for ballet,
Okay.
which was like a little iffy because this injury. So I ended up getting a full ride to a school in Mississippi.
Yeah. Wow.
A tiny little college called Belhaven. At the time, it was Belhaven College. Now it's Belhaven University. 1,500 kids in the whole entire school.
Yeah. So
So
they had a dance program.
it was a really amazing ballet program.
Okay.
And I knew I would be that like big fish in the
Yeah,
small pond type of situation. So for me, instead of going to a major school where I would just be in like the background, I was like, let me go here and like
Mississippi.
strut my New York stuff in Mississippi. Um, so within one semester, I'm rocked by this injury again.
Right.
And I had to leave. I had to
Uh-huh.
leave college and I came back to New York and now I'm a freshman in college. I graduated high school early. I left my college and I'm back at my parents' house
Right.
and like all my friends are at college. And I'm like, what, like truly, what am I doing with my life now? Like
Right.
I spent my entire life thinking like, what am I doing? Like I knew what I
You knew it,
wanted.
yeah.
And now here I am, like square on. And then my parents were like, Meredith, nobody knows what they're doing
Right,
at
that's
this
the
point in
thing.
life. Like you were just, you knew
You're
what you
so
wanted.
far ahead of the game.
But like now I'm starting over
Right.
almost. Um, so I get home and all my Mississippi friends are like, come back to Mississippi, go to Ole Miss, go to a big school. You'll love it. Study journalism, whatever you want to do. Like just come hang out with us. We miss you.
Right.
Come back to Mississippi. So I applied, didn't even go to the school before going. I
Okay.
applied, accepted, went.
To Ole Miss.
Went to Ole Miss.
That is funny.
From Southampton,
Wow.
New York to Oxford,
Culture shock?
Mississippi. Beyond, but like best experience.
Right, I can imagine.
Football was religion.
Right.
The coolest people, the coolest situation, fried food left and right.
Yeah.
Um,
They have a good barbecue in Mississippi?
I-
They must, right? Yeah,
everything.
yeah.
I think I
love
gained
good
like
barbecue.
20 pounds that year, you know?
That's
So,
amazing.
um,
Are you still friends with them?
yes,
Yeah, that's
like
great.
my best friends in the entire world.
That's pretty
still.
cool.
Yep.
That's a pretty cool combination when you sort of randomly you have this culture mix and now it's part of your life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like, so then here's like growing up in New York, but yet like my graduating class was Michael Orr.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And then like Eli Manning went to Ole Miss. So like it was really cool to go down south. And now I'm studying journalism. I like did a little on the dance team.
Where'd the journalism come from? Just something to do, or that was
I just thought like maybe I could be a sports broadcaster
okay.
and like be on the sideline. And I don't know. I was
color
like,
commentator for ballet? A whole new.
it's like, who knows? Like, what
Right.
am I doing now? Let me just
Right.
get into sports.
Fair enough,
I
yeah.
love,
You love
I
it,
love
yeah.
being active and I love everything that has to do with that.
Yeah.
So graduated with a journalism degree. But with that being said, I graduated in 2008.
Okay.
So we all know what happened in 2008. The economy went to shit.
Right.
I am now graduating from Ole Miss with a broadcast journalism degree with my back burner dance career. And I interned with MSNBC when I was there, when I was at Ole Miss for the first presidential debate with Obama.
Okay.
And it was like the coolest thing ever. It was like the first presidential debate was at Ole Miss, which was like, wow,
That's
that
amazing.
was my internship.
Wow.
Worked for MSNBC. So when the debate was over, they were like, oh, call us when you get back to New York. Maybe you can come work for MSNBC, whatever. Of course, that's not happening in 2008. Nothing's happening in 2008. So I came back home, and at this time, my mom had opened a dance studio in Bridgehampton. So she opened it. She like local dance, teaches tap, ballet, jazz, kind of the whole nine. So she's like, come home, work for me, teach dance until you can really figure out now what you're doing.
Right.
So I started working at the local gym. I was teaching dance classes. And that's really where my love for fitness started.
Yeah.
I mean, I've always loved fitness, but my passion started then and there. Like, okay, I'm not going to be a dancer. I'm not going to be a sports broadcaster. How can I like combine the two with my incredible background of like anatomy and dance and everything that goes with that? So I got into fitness. I auditioned for a company that was in Manhattan, like a bar method company.
Yeah.
Got the job. And
was that Physique 57?
Physique
Yeah.
57. Yep.
Okay.
So started working there.
I don't mean to be
They're
rude.
still
They're
around.
still around.
Yeah,
Okay.
they're still around.
I remember them being
Yeah.
big. I haven't seen.
So it was like huge back
Yeah,
then. It was
exactly.
like bar method.
Right.
It was like really cool.
Right.
So taught bar method classes for 7 years.
Okay.
I worked in Soho. I worked on 57th Street, and
So were you living in the city at that time, or are you going back and
I
forth
had a
still?
place in the
Okay,
city,
got it.
and then I was also working out
Yeah,
east.
okay.
So they had rented space at the barn.
Got it.
So they were at the barn.
Yeah.
I was teaching classes there, going back and forth, getting my, fitness mindset and like really what truly worked for my body. So I do have to say, like with that company, it really opened my eyes to how I like to move, how my body likes to move, how other people move. Um, and so within that, I started actually private training a client who was a golf pro.
Oh, okay.
Um,
Who you met just doing that work?
yeah,
Yeah. Okay.
yeah, but like it's tough for men to sort of enter that group fitness
Yeah.
atmosphere because it's a little intimidating. Most of the clients are women and they're
Right.
doing like little like shake your hip movement and like it's a little intimidating. So I
I told
started
you my wife and I are going to try to start doing Pilates
yes,
together. And I thought the same thing. I'm like, oh, this is going to be interesting.
but it's
Shut
hard.
corner.
It's like super hard.
Right.
So it's like yeah.
We'll
So
see. We'll see. But I get that environment. You got to have the right environment.
you
Yeah.
have to
Yeah.
have the right environment. Yeah, so I started
Good.
training this guy who was a golf pro. And what I started notice so he came to me with, like, a ton of injuries, like
Yeah.
a back injury, a shoulder, this and that, but he's a golf pro, so he has to keep up with his
Yep.
game. And he had, like, 0 mobility, like, his mobility was really terrible, and this is where I really started the formula.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking in my head, "How can I create a workout for this professional athlete that's not too easy, it's still really challenging, but is gonna protect him and not, um, further aggravate his problem
Sure.
areas." So, I started kind of playing with, exercises and routines then on him. He was, like, my test subject number 1.
Mm.
Um, transformed his game.
Just a little curiosity because I like the in the weeds stuff. Did he know, like you guys just clicked and got along and he trusted you?
So, his wife was my client,
Okay.
and
Oh, so you had a few clients already?
yes, so she was like, "My husband really needs
Okay,
help
got it.
and help."
Got it.
Yeah, like,
Because you were sort of just getting
I
started
was
right
just
now.
getting started.
Okay.
Yeah. But again, so
Yeah.
I was with that company for 7
Got it.
years.
Okay.
So, it was like within that time frame. And so
Yeah.
she's like, he needs help. He needs
Right.
like help him. So I started working with him
Yeah.
and totally changed his game, like beyond. And he's like, this is amazing. This is like everybody needs to know about this. We need to mobilize this. It's like
Amazing. And that's
I'm
Maggie
young,
Black influence a little bit?
heavily Maggie
Yeah.
Black
Okay.
influence, but on like a male.
Yes. Yeah.
So not making it those feminine movements and really making it super tough and athletic.
Yeah.
And like that's what I wanted to do with this was create something that's like very athletic.
Okay.
And not like super feminine and although 99% of my clients
Right.
are
Right.
women.
Right.
But anyway, so yeah. So started with that. And then I was poached by another company and I worked at that company for 8 years, out in the Hamptons.
Yeah.
I taught classes, I ran the studios, I managed the studios. So now I'm getting into
Yeah.
managerial
Yeah.
aspects.
The business
So the
of
business side.
fitness. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so the business side of fitness, which was a super high-end fitness company. I mean, all the celebrities I can imagine and all the most high-end, incredible people I would meet through
Right.
this.
Right.
And that's where I learned the business aspect. So, like, how to run a super successful fitness company, how to not dilute yourself.
Was that Tracy Anderson?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. She's got a studio here as well, right?
She's got
Everywhere. Yeah. Yeah.
she's
Yeah.
got
Yeah.
studios. Yeah.
She's got. It's not the barn, but it sort of looks like her one in out
Her
east,
studios in
like
Waterbury.
glass and
Mhm,
yeah,
mhm.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
It's a nice
yeah.
spot.
So nice.
So yeah, that is, I mean, it's a great opportunity because that's not only sort of high end fitness, but it's a big
A
business.
big
So it's a great sort of scene behind the curtains on
yeah,
that. Yeah.
yeah, and that was really I have to say, so with every job I've ever worked, I've never been like, you take something from
Yeah,
everything you do.
absolutely. Yeah. And
Um,
you have to train her method. Like if somebody hires you like that, do you now have to
I
go?
had to teach her method,
But
yes.
you have to learn it. Is there a training
There's a
program?
training
Got it.
process.
Okay.
For both companies, there was a
Okay.
major training process.
Right.
So again, so you learn what this method did and what, Physique 57 did, you learn what works for people's bodies and what doesn't.
Yeah.
So, never knocking anybody ever, but there were certain points within both companies that I felt pain in areas that I was just like, if I'm feeling this as a dancer, somebody else is
Mhm.
feeling it tenfold, or their form is not as correct as it should be. Um, so in my head, I'm thinking like, okay, just in general, how can I work out where I'm not feeling pain in my back, in my knees, in my joints, but make it really hard? And it's really hard to do in a group class setting because there's a million people in the room. It's really hard to focus on everyone's proper form at all times,
Mhm.
unless the class is specifically designed
Yeah,
that
yeah.
way,
Got it.
right?
You keep
Um,
saying you keep making the distinction, I want to take care of the joints, but I want to make it really hard. What's that about in the sense that you want people to feel like they're not sacrificing a good workout
right.
just because you have this? Is that where that's coming
Yes. So
from?
think about like if you are running
Yeah.
or if you're doing like a cardio class, where's all the impact going? It's going into your knees,
Yeah.
it's going into your hips, it's going into your lower back. So if you're doing impactful movement, a lot of pressure goes into the knees, it goes into the lower back.
Okay.
Um, so when you are thinking like a high intensity interval training class, a lot of it is impact
Yeah.
based.
Yeah.
How can you create a high intensity interval class without
What's that
so
mean?
much
Got it.
impact?
Got it.
So that's where I wanted to sort of create something is in finding ways around that impact and finding ways to make sure that the class itself is not compromising form.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
And also sort of like sounds like not make it feel like you're not getting a great workout.
right, right.
Yeah.
And
Like
like no knock to yoga ever. I
yeah.
love yoga beyond, but I yoga to me is like a very relaxing lengthening and yoga can be very challenging.
Right.
This is more I want to create a workout where people are building muscle, strength training, in addition to getting a cardio aspect
Yeah.
without that
Yeah.
impact. Um, so rewinding, I met Tracy. I got married. I had 2 kids. I got divorced. So within
Another
that,
hurdle.
so
You like overcoming
right,
hurdles from what I can understand.
yes,
And you seem to be
hurdles.
very good at it, so this is good.
Again, there's no other options,
Right.
right? Like, there's when you go through stuff, and I say that very
Yeah.
lightly, like,
Yeah.
when you go through something, you have 2 choices. You can dwell on it, you can sit in that situation and, "Oh, poor me," or you can do something about
Yeah.
it to change. And I've always been that type of
That's been your
person.
default. Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I push through, I go, and I go on to the next. Like, there's no dwelling in whatever scenario, whatever cards you're handed. You have to take life and do it without anyone telling you, "This is what you have," like, you have to do it for yourself.
Mm.
No one's gonna push you, no one's gonna make you do it. You have to have that, like, internal fire of, like, "This is what I need to do. How am I gonna succeed? How am I gonna do this?" And, like, you have to have that inside you. So I had got married, had 2 kids, got divorced. And now I'm stuck in this place of, like, I have 2 little babies. I was in a job where I wasn't feeling fulfilled. I never saw my kids. I was single, and my kids at the time were 2 and 3, and, like, I just went to this dark, dark,
Mm.
dark place of, like, I have no money. My kids are babies. I'm single. I'm in a career that I just wasn't happy with at the time. Like, it just wasn't fulfilling for me.
Yeah.
Um, and I knew I had to make a change.
Yeah.
So, I pulled my pants up, my big girl pants on, and I said, "I'm leaving this job. I'm gonna make something for myself, for my
I
kids."
love it. I love it.
Um, because that at that point in life, they are my driving factor.
Yeah.
They are now, they were then, and they will always be my driving factor. So I wanted to show my kids that, like, I can do something for myself. I can be something. I can provide for them. I can be home for them. I can drive them to school. I can pick them up. I can take them to their practices and still do my own thing and like show them that
Mm.
you can do whatever you want. So I left. At that point, I didn't really know that I was starting the formula. I
Okay.
left the company and I was like, okay, again,
You're
now
gonna
what?
do something in that world. You know there's an idea brewing or no, you're
I
just
didn't even,
oh,
I
interesting.
had
Okay.
zero, my focus was leave the job so I can be there for my children.
Got it.
With
Yeah.
no money, no husband, no like
No net really. I mean,
no
yeah,
net.
that's interesting. Yeah.
I was like, okay, well, worst case scenario, I can at least know that I don't have to pay for childcare
Right,
because
right.
I
It's a big
procure
step.
the
Yeah.
kids, which is a huge deal.
Yeah.
Childcare is so expensive. My mom is out east. I'm fortunate to have her. My brother's out
Yeah.
east. Like I have my family. Their father's out east and his family's out east. Like I know that I'm not left alone.
Yeah.
So, um, a bunch of clients were like, "Hey, what are you doing?" And I was
Right.
like, "Taking my kids to school and being a mom. That's what I'm doing."
Did they know that you had made this move or just in talking to
They
them?
knew I left.
Yeah.
They knew I left
Got
the
it. Okay.
company and
And then
like
you
that's
left.
it.
Right.
And it's like, "Well, what are you doing?"
Right.
I'm like, "I don't know.
Yeah.
What do you mean what am I doing? What are you doing?" I'm like, you should start something. You should
Yeah.
start teaching." Well, where am I gonna teach? What am I gonna do?
Yeah.
So then like the light bulb goes on and I'm like, I have a dance studio in Bridgehampton. My mom has a dance studio in Bridgehampton. I
Yeah.
have a space. Like, why don't I just start? So
It's funny that that wasn't your immediate connection.
can I tell you,
Yeah, right? It seems like so natural.
to this day, she even said it like years
Right.
ago. She's like, why don't you use the studio? And I'm like,
Right.
I can't. I need, but like, you have to go
Yes.
through things in order to get, you have to go to A to get to B, you have to go to B to get to C. So if I hadn't developed all of those, X amount of years of fitness, uh, training and working with clients and learning the business and learning the fitness ins and outs and what people want and what people don't, I could have never done it.
No,
So everything led me to this place.
absolutely.
So now all of a sudden there's a studio. I have no job.
Uh-huh.
Now she's like, Meredith, okay. So I was like, okay, if I have 2 people in class and they pay, $35 and if I do the class like 5 days a week, I'm like in my head, I'm calculating like all I need is like I just need like 2 people to take my class every single
I
day.
love
And
it. I
like
love it.
so I pulled together, I spent like and when I say I spent hours and days trying to come up with the formula, it wasn't just within those hours and days. Like now this is back from when I was training
Yeah.
this golfer. So I'm taking everything that I've ever learned and how my body works and how their bodies work and how we're going together and I'm putting this all in my head and molding this class together in my mind and in my body and I'm testing it on myself. I'm testing it on my friends. And I'm just going through, I'm like, how can I work this? How can I just like writing down the formats? I'm like
Love it.
spending hours and days trying to come up with something that's tangible that I feel good with. And then I'm like, okay, here we go. I'm gonna start teaching classes. So I had like one person in class, and then the next day it was two, and then the next day it was four, and the next day it was
It's
eight.
such a good feeling.
And slowly and slowly and slowly it grew. Well, you'll talk to one of my clients, I was telling her the story there, and she's like, "You never started slowly." She's like, "You all of a sudden, you had people right from the get-go, like,
Right.
we were there supporting you, and, like, we never stopped."
That's great.
And then now fast forward, here we are, and my classes are sold out indefinitely. Like, I had all winter long, I had on the Upper East Side, 60 people sitting on a wait list every single day. Um and it's grown and it's exploded, and I just could not be happier with the the everything about I mean, just everything that I
Right.
can't be I can't even
It's your
yeah.
American Ballet
It
intensive all over again.
all
It's
over now in the fitness world. Yeah.
I mean, that's incredible. There's so many things that resonate, which I want to ask about. But um, what kind of people are you seeing come into the class? I mean, what do you think is attracting people to it? And are you seeing a pattern of person, or is it just a wide swath of clientele?
I think the only thing I wanna say is that it's accessible.
Yeah.
Like, that to me was not something that maybe in my past jobs, like the workouts weren't so accessible. There was
Right.
either an elite status to it or it was more female based. This, I feel like I've created something that's accessible. You can be any body shape, you
Mm.
can be any age, you can be any fitness ability, and you can come in the class and feel that you're supported, number 1. Number 2, that you can do this and get through this. It may be hard as shit,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
you can do it and you can get through it.
yeah.
Um, and so my clientele right now is I really have a major range from 20s to my I'm gonna talk about her, and if she listens to this, she's gonna know who she is, but she's just about 70 years old,
Wow.
and she's, like, my biggest most loyal client.
Amazing.
And she comes to class every single day, and she's like, "I can only do, like, a little bit of it, but I'm doing it, and I'm here," and she loves it.
That's incredible.
So there's from 20s to 70,
That makes
yeah,
sense to me because and not to put you on the spot, but I think in anything, the teacher and the leader of the thing is so important.
absolutely.
And you know, so if any fraction of your story and personality is coming out in class, I could see why you're just going to get a broad range of people. They're going to be attracted to that. I think that's, it's approachable. The story's authentic. eh, I know you are not asking anybody to do anything that you haven't done or wouldn't do. So I could see why you're getting that broad range of
Mhm.
people. So that's a testament to you, really. I think that's the leadership part of it. So that's an amazing aspect of it. I also like how you talk about, when we started the cafe, which actually was originally in this studio. Did you know the cafe at all? So
No.
yeah. So but we started out as, 3 drinks, made $300 that day, made 500, and
It's
it's
so
just
exciting at that
so
point.
but the calculation of, like, I just need to sell 100
Yes,
drinks
yes.
today. And then, 15 years later, we're
Yep,
here, and I don't know how it happens,
yep.
but somehow you just stick with it, and I find, which resonates in your story, I've had moments in my life where sometimes it seems like none of the pieces are connecting. But you look back and you almost say, "It couldn't have been any other way." And then you have that moment in life where you're like, I can honestly say I have 0 regrets because all these pieces from your mother going back to dance, then getting the studio and '08 happening and not I mean, I don't know, maybe you ended up in ballet. I don't know what that trajectory is like. It seems like you're doing something so amazing that you're so happy with now, right? It's hard to imagine a
Totally.
different scenario.
Totally, and,
Yeah.
like, had I never started dancing at 3 and, like, pushed myself, maybe she wouldn't right, she wouldn't have gotten back into it, and she wouldn't have opened a dance studio, and I would never have a studio now.
Yeah.
So there's, like, all the pieces connect, like and, like, everything truly makes sense when it has to make sense. Like,
Yes.
when you're going through it, it doesn't make any sense.
Right.
But, like, now looking back, it's like I would not be here without those things, without my mom, without the jobs that I previously had,
Yeah.
without my kids, without my divorce. I would not have gotten to this point without any of that,
Yeah. Yeah.
you know?
But I
Um,
wonder, it's funny you say there I definitely know that part of life where things don't make sense until 2020 hindsight. But I'm sure your experience like I have, because of all of that, now you could see the patterns more. You could sort of see, "Oh,
totally.
this path is okay." I guess a little more faith in the unknown.
Yep.
And certainly as a business owner, it's sort of all faith in the unknown.
All faith in the unknown.
Right.
But, like, that's also kind of what I don't really use the word preach, but that's really what I preach in my
Yeah.
classes.
Tell
It's
me.
like, you You have to be uncomfortable and you have to go outside your comfort zone
Right,
because
right.
we just won't grow or evolve as people unless we do. If you don't take that step and that leap of faith of like, I'm gonna not be comfortable in my life that I know that there's a paycheck coming, or I'm like, as soon as you step out of that moment, yeah, you may fail, but you might also super succeed. So, like, right back to what's the option?
Yeah.
What's your What, are you
Yeah.
gonna stay comfortable or are you gonna push yourself and really truly break out of your comfort zone and something incredible can happen?
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
I think you have to be willing to sort of, uh, I don't know, thrive, enjoy, the change
Yes.
in a way. Like
Yes.
I've had a lot of different jobs growing up, and people ask. Before getting into coffee, I was a prosecutor in Brooklyn, and people, which I loved, and people ask me, "Do you miss that?" I said, "Well, I don't tend to miss things. I
Yeah.
really loved that
Yeah.
time. I love the people I
Yep.
worked with, but I don't look back on a time where I'm like, oh, I wish, like, I love what's happening now."
Mhm.
But I think as an entrepreneur, I think there's a certain breed that likes that new wave and is sort of always riding that
Mhm.
breaking point,
Mhm.
um, and not sort of getting attached to the past. Because another thing I want to ask, sort of a see if you can follow this question, but ballerina, huge identity, huge life, all consuming, right? That's one aspect of your life. Kids, now you're a parent, huge identity, all consuming. Now you're have the formula, growing business, uh, uh, I would say instructor, thought leader in this space, all consuming. So you have all these different personalities. I guess the question is, you know, how do you manage all of it? How do you identify with all of it? You know,
Such a good
even
question.
once you have kids, your even your priorities change. Like, and I know what you mean. Like,
10,000%.
and I tell people this. I used to be much more identified with the business. How it went was a reflection on me. It was sort of probably a little bit of an ego thing as well, in the sense of, I'm leaving my mark. I still love the business. I care much less about that. I've also come to the conclusion nobody really cares. Do you know what I mean?
Yes. Yep.
So I still have all those identities, but it's not so much as a priority. So I guess that's what I'm trying to ask. As you've navigated all this and ended up where you are, how do you make sense of all that? You know?
I mean, gosh, great
I'm sorry,
question.
it's a big question.
No,
I know, but
it's
I'm
an
just
amazing
fascinated by it
question.
because
It's so like for me, I very much so dedicate very specific time to everything.
yeah,
So when my kids are in school, I'm full 100% the formula. There's like when they're in school, that's my personality. That's
yeah,
who I am, the formula. Of course I think about my kids, but
right, right,
like God forbid the school calls during while I'm like teaching class, which has happened before. It's like, but that time for me is my business.
uh,
That's where I'm Meredith, the formula. When it's before work, it's all about my kids.
yeah,
When it's after work, it's all about my kids. So I think having those big personalities and those big, like, who I am as a person, as a mom, and as an entrepreneur, there's dedicated times to both of them. You
yeah,
cannot successfully do everything at the same time. It's physically impossible. So, um, I have to be very strict with myself. My phone
yeah,
is my biggest thing, right? So when I'm with my kids in the morning and when I'm with them after school, the phone's down, the phone's gone. Um, Focusing mainly on them. And like, yes, of course, things happen, things come
of
up.
course, yeah,
As a
yeah.
business owner,
They're
shit
never
hits the
not
basket.
happening,
It's
correct?
all like I'm always, but I mean, I think really truly dedicating time and making sure you stick to that. And
Yeah,
that's the only way I can be the best version of those two people
I love
at the
it.
same
Yeah,
time.
yeah.
Um,
I mean, you're talking about being present, really. With
I
if you're with the kids,
Yes,
be present with the kids. If
have
you're at
to.
work, yeah,
Yep,
exactly. That's
yep,
a big part of it.
yep. So and it's really, really hard to do.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
really hard to do because I'm such a hustler. Like all I can think about even now is like, okay, what's going on tomorrow? How many people would I have signed up for class? What's the schedule? I need to get the schedule up. Like my mind is always in my bit. Like it's always in my
yeah. Of
business.
course, of
What's the
course.
next step for me? Where am I going? What studio am I opening up next? Where's the next location? Like my mind is always there.
How do you? Well, that brings up another good question I was going to ask. Not that the question's good. Brings up a good point. Toot my own horn on questions. How do you stay balanced? Like, what do you do for yourself other than work out as far as to stay healthy? I mean, how do you manage what is just, multitasking away all the time? But what do you do for yourself to stay?
I get
Yeah.
asked this question initially all the
Okay,
time.
okay.
So I super prioritize sleep.
Yeah.
Um, and like this sad sounds so boring to
Mhm.
say, like, how do you, but sleep to me is like, this is something that I do not compromise.
8 hours.
No ifs, ands, or
So what time do
buts.
you go to bed? Early? We're talking like because
We're
you must
talking
you
like
woke up at 4 a.m. today, so you went to bed
I
like
w
7 or
I was
something.
in bed by 8 o'clock.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And, like, happily in bed by 8
But
o'clock.
how do you do that with the kids? I mean, they let
Like,
you sleep at 8 o'clock?
I'm very strict with my kids.
Wow,
So,
yeah.
it was, like, sleep with them as
Yeah,
well. Like,
my wife was as well. It's like sleep schedule, yeah.
there's no like, I'm a very hardcore, like, you are in your bedroom, you do
Yeah.
not leave your bedroom, you stay in
Right.
your bedroom, and I have that little, like, clock that turns green and
Yes,
red.
yes.
So when it's green, they're allowed to
It
get to
didn't
their
work for
room.
us. I'm glad it's working for you.
Well, my older son is, like, such a rule follower,
Uh,
so he'll, like, tell his brother, he's like, "You can't get out of bed yet, it's not green."
I just on that note, when the way you say it, it's so funny, the arbitrariness. Like, it's so sweet. This like little kid would follow this rule that has
Such a rule.
no way to enforce.
It's like the firstborn, and there's no
Yeah, yeah.
locks in their doors, like, they can get out if it's
That
locked,
is
but
great.
so, like, they're in bed
Yeah.
by 7,
Okay.
7:30, like, no ifs, ands, or buts,
Yeah.
like, that's it. They're in
You
bed.
read? Do you
They
read in bed?
I do, but that's,
Yeah.
like, before the 7, 7:30
Okay.
mark. So, you are in your bedroom, the door shut,
Yeah.
lights off by 7:30, like, there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. I don't care. I don't there's no screaming, there's no crying, there's
Yeah.
no getting out, like, if you have to go to the bathroom, it's before 7:30.
Wow.
If you're, like, you get all your water and your food you want
Yeah.
before 7:30, like, that's it.
So your kids gonna be having dinner at like 5:30 when they
Oh,
grow up right away.
like, but my
I'm
kids
just kidding. Yeah.
sleep until so
Yeah.
they other than the few times of having the stomach bug or, like, being sick,
Yeah.
they sleep and they don't wake up.
That's
Like,
great.
they go to bed at their 7, 7:30 mark, and they're not out of their room until 6:30 until that clock turns green.
Yeah, it's great.
And,
It's
like,
great.
that's it. So then that's, like, where
That's your time. Yeah.
I need my recovery. So I'm big on recovery.
Yeah.
Sleep is my number 1. I have, they're called grounding sheets.
I know grounding
Okay,
sheets,
okay.
but now I have to talk to you about them for a second.
Talk to me, talk to me.
Um, I saw some documentary on like
Oh, tell me.
grounding.
Oh,
You
no.
didn't see the grounding
I did
documentary?
not.
No, and
No.
I loved it. I was like, this
Oh,
makes
good.
sense. I
Okay.
got it. Feet on the ground and the natural engine, the electrodes, or whatever it is. The natural electric
Yeah.
current. So I was like, my wife, we got to get these sheets. They're supposed to. So we tried them. I don't know. First of all, the first couple of nights, I actually felt like it disturbed me a little bit.
Okay,
Like, not
interesting.
obviously, but I
Yeah,
just couldn't get
yeah.
settled. And I kept trying them. I don't know.
Okay, maybe you need a different brand.
Maybe. So what do you
I
use?
don't know, I get them up from Amazon.
Yeah, I got the same thing. I'm gonna
Um,
try it again.
so the first set I bought, same thing.
Just sheets or sheets and blanket? What'd you get?
Sheets, just
Sheets,
the
okay.
sheets. So the first set I bought, similar, like,
Yeah.
I was like, "Okay, I don't really whatever." The second set I bought, because it had, like, 10% of the like, instead of the, like,
I
5% the
see.
other one had. The minute I lay down on them, I'm, like, out cold.
Really?
I do magnesium oil on my feet and my hands.
My wife does that too.
I do, like, the castor oil belly pack.
Yeah.
I'm like, you
Oh, so you have a
I
regime. You have a
have
sleep
I
regimen.
told you I'm serious about my sleep, like,
Well, I mean, but
very
that they
serious.
say that's super
I wear this
critical.
this Whoop?
Yeah, yeah.
Right. I'm like and, like, when I look at it, I'm like, I didn't get
You have the ring or is it the bracelet?
no, the Whoop.
Oh, oh, right,
Yeah.
the ring is different. Yeah, yeah.
No, so
Whoop, I
I,
thought
like, I check my stats, my sleep stats, my recovery, so it's, like, very, very important for me
and do you fall asleep pretty quickly? I mean,
immediately.
right away.
Those sheets, though,
I'll have to try it
if
again.
I'm
I gotta
not
maybe I gotta use them. I gotta stick with it.
oh god, I now, like, if I go anywhere, I can't sleep.
Really?
I have my sound machine.
Bring
I'm
those
like
with you. It's so easy to bring with you, those sheets.
yeah, but that's
No, is that very
weird. Like,
much?
what are you doing? Packing your bag with your sheets and putting them on your hotel bed? Like, I don't know, it's a little weird.
It's like a special thing. People will bring like a workout gear with them, or you bring
That's
your
true.
oils with
That's
you,
true.
right?
I do, and
Same
I
difference.
bring
Yeah.
my sound machine with me
There you
everywhere I
go.
go.
There you
I'm
go.
like so okay, so recovery to me is super important.
Yeah.
I get a massage once a week. That's like that's it. I have to.
Got it.
Sometimes more than once a week.
Okay.
But massage, sleep, and like a proper like your diet, of course, affects everything.
Yeah.
So, I I've done it a couple times, like, I've totally cut out sugar from my diet.
Okay.
That
How long
also
has
is
that
a
been?
game changer. I do it usually twice a year, where I'll cut it out for, like, a month,
Oh, okay.
and it's hard, it's sugar
It's hard for me.
I'm
Yeah.
talking fruit sugar,
Right.
like,
Oh, all
like,
sugar,
all
not just
sugar,
junk food.
not just
Sugar,
junk
like
food, like, fruit sugar,
got it.
like, sugar.
But does that mean you won't eat like an apple?
Nope.
Really?
Yep.
Why? Because that's bad for you?
It's not bad for you, but if you were to wear, like, it was like a blood sugar monitor
Yeah.
and you see what even fruit does, when it spikes your blood sugar. So, but I'll do it for like twice a year. I won't do it like consistently.
Well,
This
let
is
me just ask you about that
yeah,
because that's something for me as well. I have a huge sweet tooth.
yeah,
So
me too.
I was on a great run for a while where I really just gave up junk food. Like
Yeah.
I didn't touch it. It was great, but I ate fruit and stuff. But if I do a full sugar thing for like twice a year for like a month, that is good, or is it not?
It's a personal thing.
Okay. Okay.
I sleep better,
Yeah.
like even more than I do currently.
Right.
When I cut sugar completely, my anxiety, I have no anxiety. I'm not yelling at my kids.
Right.
I'm not there. It just seems like I'm just floating.
Wow.
It's
I gotta try
wild
it
what
again.
sugar does
I
to
gotta
you.
go back to that. I know. I know. I gotta go back to that.
Like wild what sugar
Yeah.
does to you. So interestingly enough, I did this test group February. So I took 10 women
Yeah.
and I gave them this no sugar diet, and I wanted them to work out with me 5 days a week and do this no sugar diet.
Okay.
Um, the results were out of control.
Really?
I mean, the people, the photos alone in just 30 days, or it was 28 days, it was the month of February. So the photos alone of the transformation from day 1 to day 28 was it looked like they'd been doing this for 6 months.
Oh, incredible.
Um, the response of, clearer skin, sleeping better, the anxiety, just in general, your overall, like, view on life turns to this amazing, like, uplifting. I don't know, it's just
Yeah.
wild what sugar does to
That's
us.
amazing. No, I have to go revisit that. That's incredible. You're amazing.
Thank you,
This
you're
was such a
amazing.
great story. I mean, I loved
Thank
it. It's really impressive. I'm so happy for you.
thank
I think it's great. Um, you're trying to open a studio here in the city,
Yes. So
right?
right now I'm renting space on the Upper East Side 4 days a week. I have 2 other trainers who are teaching classes,
Okay.
and then I come in once a week. And then, yeah, so I'm fingers
Oh, I hope
crossed
that
we'll
goes
be
well.
opening an Upper East Side studio
Right.
soon.
That's a good spot for it. That'd be good.
Yeah.
That'd be good. Online classes or
Online classes.
okay.
So I film every 9:30 class I teach.
Oh, great.
So it's filmed, it's online for people to watch, rent, purchase.
I assume a book is coming out
Um,
soon.
I don't know about a
Yeah,
maybe,
something, something.
maybe.
That's great. You're on Instagram, all that.
Yep,
You're
all the above. I do
amazing.
pop-ups. I did a
Do you have a
crazy
team that does that for you, or you do all
I
that?
do it.
Yeah, yeah.
I do
That's
it. I
that's
have a great team though, don't get me wrong.
right, right.
But I'm also still in such a young stage of this company, so I'm hand selecting the
Yeah.
people who really are
And the
proving.
truth is just from a practical basis, like every dollar matters. Like if I can do it myself and I don't have to hire anybody, I'm with
Absolutely.
you. So, this was awesome.
Thank
I
you
wish
so
you all the
much.
best. I can't wait
Thank
to hear about the growth and stay in touch.
thank you.
It's great, really inspiring. So I appreciate your time.
So nice
Yeah.
to meet you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks for
Also,
having me. Yay.
that was great. Amazing.